Fluffy's Thanksgiving by Kate McMullan. Illustrated by Mavis Smith. Fluffy takes a bow. You are all going to be in a Thanksgiving play, Mrs. Day told her class. Even Fluffy? Asked Maxwell. I think we can find a small part for Fluffy, said Miss Day. A small part, thought Fluffy. I want a big part. Who would like to be the chief? Asked Mrs. Day. I'm your chief, thought Fluffy. How about Maxwell? Said Miss Day. Yes, said Maxwell. Who wants to be Squanto? Said Miss Day. Me, thought Fluffy. Wade will be Squanto, said Miss Day. Raise your hand if you would like to play a pilgrim, said Mrs. Day. Hello, I'm raising my paw, thought Fluffy. But Miss Day did not see Fluffy's paw. She picked Emma and 6 other kids to play pilgrims. Who wants to play the turkey? Asked Mrs. Day. Well, it's not my first choice, thought Fluffy, but hey, gobble, gobble. I'll do it, called Jasmine. Miss Day, said Maxwell, what part do we have for Fluffy? Yeah, what part do we have for Fluffy? Thought Fluffy. Fluffy would make a cute pumpkin, said Jasmine. I don't think so, thought Fluffy. Fluffy's too fat to be a zucchini, said Wade. Who asked you? Thought Fluffy. Mrs. Day, called Emma, I know the perfect part for Fluffy. She whispered her idea to Mrs. Day, and Fluffy didn't hear what she said. The whole school came to see the Thanksgiving play. The curtain went up. Thank you, Squanto, said Emma the Pilgrim, for your gift of corn. Emma the Pilgrim held up an ear of corn, and the ear of corn was Fluffy. Then Emma put the ear of corn into her pocket, and the play went on. The ear of corn snuck its head out of the pocket and sniffed at the feast table. The audience started to giggle. Emma the Pilgrim walked very close to the feast table, and the ear of corn forgot all about being an ear of corn, and it climbed out of the pocket and onto the table. It ran over a pile of onions and yams and pumpkins and other ears of corn. The audience laughed, but the ear of corn didn't notice. It was too busy gobbling its own Thanksgiving feast. When the day was over, Miss Day's class took a bow, and the audience clapped and clapped. Emma the Pilgrim held up the ear of corn. The audience cheered. The ear of corn gazed out at everyone, clapping and cheering. Yes, thought the ear of corn, today a star is born. Fluffy's Great Escape. Fluffy went home with Maxwell for Thanksgiving break. Maxwell showed Fluffy to his little sister Violet. Oh, sweet little piggy, said Violet. Yuck, thought Fluffy. Maxwell showed Fluffy to his dad. What do you call that thing? Asked his dad. A guinea pig, thought Fluffy. But you can call me sir. On Thanksgiving morning, Maxwell helped his mom wash the celery, and Fluffy nibbled the celery leaves. The doorbell rang. It's Grammy, said Maxwell's mom. Maxwell, quick, put the guinea pig back in its cage. Maxwell's mom and dad ran to the door to greet Grammy. Maxwell hurried Fluffy back to the cage in the den, and then he went to meet Grammy too. But the gate of Fluffy's cage was not closed all the way. Fluffy pushed it with his nose until the opening was as wide as he was, and then he jumped out of his cage. Celery leaves, thought Fluffy. Here I come. Let me take your suitcase to the guest room, Grammy, said Maxwell's dad. I can carry it, said Grammy. Let me help you, said Maxwell's mom. I can do it, said Grammy. I'm not that old. Grammy walked down the hall to the guest room. Fluffy walked up the hall to the kitchen. He sniffed the air and he heard a scream. "Oh!" someone cried. "A rat!" "A rat?" thought Fluffy. "How awful!" Fluffy turned around and ran back the other way. Grammy hurried to the bathroom and shut the door. Maxwell's mom ran down the hall. "Where are you, Grammy?" she called, and Fluffy ran to the guest room and hid behind a wastebasket. "If there is one thing I don't like," he thought, "it's a rat." Maxwell's dad knocked on the bathroom door. "Are you all right, Grammy?" he called. "I saw a rat," Grammy called back. "A rat?" cried Maxwell's dad. "How awful!" Grammy opened the door a crack. "If there is one thing I don't like, it's a rat." Maxwell and his mom and dad walked Grammy to the guest room. "Don't worry, Grammy," said Maxwell's mom. "There are no rats in this house." "Yes, there are," Grammy cried. "I see one now." "That's not a rat, Grammy," said Maxwell. "That's a guinea pig." "A guinea pig?" said Grammy. "Why, I love guinea pigs." Maxwell showed Fluffy to Grammy. "My," said Grammy, "what a fine, big, handsome fellow you are." "Grammy," thought Fluffy, "you are one smart woman." Fluffy's horrible monster. "No, Maxwell," said his mom, "the guinea pig cannot sleep in your room." "Please," said Maxwell, "it's Fluffy's last night here." His mom shook her head. "May I say good night to Fluffy?" Maxwell asked. "Please?" "Okay," said his mom, and Maxwell picked up Teddy and ran to the den. "Good night, Fluffy," said Maxwell, but Fluffy was already asleep. "I'm sorry that you can't sleep with me," said Maxwell, "but Teddy can sleep with you, so you won't be scared. Sweet dreams." Maxwell put the bear in Fluffy's cage, and Fluffy did not wake up. He was dreaming he was chasing a guinea pig named Duke. In the middle of the night, Fluffy woke up feeling hungry. His black eyes searched the cage, and there in the moonlight he saw it. Over by his food bowl, a horrible monster. It was a giant. It had a long snout and small beady eyes. It looked mean, very, very mean. "Get out of my cage," Fluffy growled, "and I mean now." Fluffy thought he saw the monster show his fangs. "I'm not kidding," Fluffy growled. Fluffy thought he heard the monster growl back. "I want you out by the time I count to 3, said Fluffy. 1, 2, 3. And the monster didn't move. Maybe the monster doesn't go to school, Fluffy thought. Maybe the monster doesn't know about counting. "Okay, you asked for it, monster," thought Fluffy. "Here I come." And Fluffy charged. The two rolled around the cage, and Fluffy growled and hissed and bit and kicked, and he clawed and scratched. It was a terrible battle. When it was all over, Fluffy's ears flopped over. His right eye was half closed, and his fur was a mess. But the monster lay face down in Fluffy's cage. "You should have run when you had the chance," growled Fluffy. On Monday, Maxwell took Fluffy back to school. He made a report to the class. "It was fun to have Fluffy stay at my house," Maxwell said. "But when he goes to your house, remember, Fluffy likes to sleep with a teddy bear." Dun dun dun.